Corn's looking good. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sunday, I think. It's a busy place for only 7:30 in the morning. Colton's getting choppers ready. I'm obviously going to do some spraying. I saw Cameron, so he's probably getting started on tillage. Hector and Blanca are already here working on trucks. And Maddie is sorting cattle. Hell of a Sunday. I'm really starting to feel like I'm never going to get done spraying pre-emerge. But that means crops are in the ground. And the beautiful thing about our system, same pre-emerge for forage sorghum as corn, makes mixing really simple. 10:45. Finally headed to the fields. Apparently my rain gauge is broken because I showed just barely over 1/10 of an inch. Everyone else is saying 3 to 4 tenths. If we actually got 3 to 4 tenths, this is going to be a miserable nightmare. Which is part of the reason we're starting this late, waiting on the water to burn off, which it's warming up, so it should be pretty well off. Unless we got 4 tenths, which that still just blows my mind. So we'll go see what kind of a muddy friggin' mess we got today. This could be a long day. And I know what you're thinking. If it is that muddy out, why not just take the day off? Like I said, it's Sunday. Well, unfortunately, they're calling for rain to start this evening and kind of rain off and on through Tuesday evening. Depending on how much we get, it would be next Friday or Saturday before we could get back into the fields by the time you let them dry out. That's a week you're down and out. All the meanwhile, the wheat is drying out because we're in the middle of June now. In a normal year, when it's not cool and wet like this, combining would be starting in the next week to 10 days. Now, granted, it's all behind that, but any day now, this wheat is really going to start to turn on us, and then you're playing catch up. So if you can fight through a day and get, 150, 200 acres, well, that's 150, 200 acres more than you had. So, we're going to experiment. Who knows? Might be a miserable failure, and we'll all be home on the couch taking a nap in an hour. See what happens. Colt and I were just laughing about how there was no there's like 8 trucks in the yard, but none of them followed us. And they just called saying they were playing rock, paper, scissors for who had to go first. Nobody wants to be the one that gets stuck first. I don't know. That edge over yonders is what worries me. Right here, we're going to be okay. But what is it like over there? The Swather and Merger are doing some weird dancing down there, so I don't know what they found. This isn't bad. I mean, it's not getting stuck wet, so I'll take it. Rutting the hell out of the field, but that's part of silage sometimes. Now we just need about 3 more Swathers. Maddie's giving that deer all it's got, but we need more. Been a lot of sitting today. So we finished that field we were on. That was our last pure wheat field. It wasn't even actually all wheat. There was a couple of strips I planted this spring. But every other acre we have to chop is either spring stuff, the spring trigger oats, or it was failed wheat that we planted into, so it's kind of a half breed. Those ones, it's going to be really hard to decide when to chop, because right now the wheat is getting to the point of starting to mature and try and fill the berries. And the other stuff is still just growing like crazy, so that'll be kind of an up in the air deal. But all of our wheat, like actual wheat, is done. Well, let's see. So now we're working on a custom job, and the funny part about this one is we got trucks going 3 different ways. So we got our 4 trucks going to a neighbor that wants like 400 ton. We got one of the custom guys that's here by himself. He is hauling to a different neighbor that wants like 200 ton. And then the other 4 custom guys are all still hauling into the big feedlot. So it's a big mess. We're right behind the Swathers and Merger. We just sat for another 30 minutes doing nothing, hanging out, BSing, because there's not a whole hell of a lot you can do whenever you're just stuck waiting. just pulled up to field number 4 on the day, and as you can see, kind of to our southwest there, it's getting dark, so the rain, she's coming. I'm kind of thinking we'll try and get this field knocked out and then just call it a day. I mean, it's already 4, so it'll be after 5. Just call it a day. Never seen the merger unfold. There's kind of how it works. Cool stuff. Come on, Jay, don't stop. You can make it. I got to the edge of the field. This is a soft, muddy mess. I told the swather to shut it down. Got a free seat bag. Anybody need a bag? Put some seat in. Well, he's on the road. Now he's got to get through the wet spots getting out of here. Is going to be the next problem. Oh, what a fun way to spend a Sunday afternoon, huh? Playing in the mud. What a miserable way to end the day. I get so mad when we start dealing with stuff like mud and pulling trucks. It was chaos hollering at different trucks and changing this and that, so I didn't grab the camera, but we finished with Colton pulling an empty truck alongside a row that I chopped onto it, so that way that guy at least got a load of his. And then top it all off, it was kind of chaos trying to go into 3 different pits all at once. And the only reason we did that is because the one couldn't handle multiple trucks because it's a small pack tractor. The other 2 could have handled the whole fleet, but we didn't want to shut one pit down to go to the other and then want them to reopen the pit. So we were trying to keep it all spread out. And the numbers I had in my head for tonnage to each place apparently weren't correct. So when things started to go sideways, I could have diverted all the trucks to the smaller pits to finish them out. And I didn't because I was thinking we needed more tonnage. Just incredibly frustrating. Just your typical stuff around here for us. Bad communication. We all suck at figuring out how to talk to each other, so rode this thing home, put it in the shed, wait to see if the rain comes. Go figure. We shut down because of mud and rain coming. Now the sun's out. Makes a lot of sense. Rain didn't scare away the dairy boys. They're still chopping haylage. I don't know, sometimes it seems really nice to be able to have your hay out in 24 hours. But when they're chopping at 2 in the morning, I really don't want to do that. So now the real question is, if we avoid rain, which this is kind of turning into something out of nowhere. If we can somehow avoid this flood, as the tuna has been talking about, can we chop anywhere? And I am thinking we went to the wrong field this afternoon. It's part of the chaos of it, you know. You get different people going different directions with different ideas. No one voice to be kind of the one. We don't have a voice kind of over all of it. We just, hey, where do you think is dry? Hey, where do you think is dry? And they go, well, I suppose this one, without physically going and looking. I think we could have chopped this today. So we've got options for tomorrow. We just gotta see what the rain does. So I'm just gonna continue driving around with the littles, looking at wheat, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.